would not talk to me. All of a sudden, no longer connected on like Facebook and things like this, would not answer my texts, phone calls, emails, nothing. And I'm like, what did I do? What's up, people? Today, let's talk about ghosting. Yeah, I'm not talking about Halloween kind of thing. You all know it, or at least everybody young knows it, is when people just vanish on somebody else. They do it on purpose because basically they don't have the guts to talk to you. And I think that warrants speaking about. Also, some of my fans will notice that 2 of my videos were deleted today. They related to the issues I'm having with a Mercedes that I'm trying to fix for a close family friend with braking issues. They were not deleted because I'm a sellout. They were deleted because there are nasty dark forces that try to push Casey around. But, Casey, why am I talking in the third person? Yeah, no, I'm going to bounce back, so stay tuned. Anyway, ghosting. It's something I think we've all experienced in one way, shape, or form. That could be in business, that could be in relationships, that could potentially just be friends, or whatever. And it's something that's so common and just not constructive or helpful. I mean, in the social aspect of interacting with others, it's not even efficient. So if you just look at it on the logical thing, it doesn't make sense. But people do it because basically we lack the emotional fortitude to be able to just tell somebody that I can't work with you, or we can't do anything together. There's no way to address that. That's where that's rooted. But it's also a difficult thing to look at and understand and be around, because for a person that feels they have been ghosted, or somebody's not talking to them, it could just be a simple misunderstanding. They may not have gotten your communication, or they frankly might be too busy. It's possible they forgot. So I bring that up because ghosting is stupid and pointless and hurtful. And if you're ghosting somebody, it's time for you to so-called man up, or girl up, or whatever. And we're going to talk about that, frankly. But if you feel you're being ghosted, but you have to remain cool and calm enough, because it's possible you haven't been. So don't let non-communication from someone or somewhere make you angry and bitter. Okay? And frankly, I'm bringing this up because, one, it's a topic that should be spoken about, and I've got some examples and stories I want to tell you, but also just my own interaction with all of you out there. I found in the last couple of years from doing VinWiki stories, and of course my own YouTube channels and social media, and the nature of all the new business related things are happening, new support for Genius Garage, a lot of behind the scenes stuff that I'm just like working so hard to do on so many platforms and so many communications, that I gotta be honest, I'm like at my capacity, you guys. So I know I have missed emailing back some people from time to time. And I know there was a guy, Schnitzel Malone, he went by on one of these platforms that wrote me quite some time, and I absolutely couldn't find the email. So dude, I'm sorry. I didn't ghost you. I can't even find it at this point. But I just want to say that. So if anybody's written me and I haven't gotten back to you quickly, or I haven't, it's not that I don't want to, it's that I can't. I haven't been able to yet. And also, just know, like, I want to interact with you guys, and that's a lot of what this YouTube channel is. So I hope you'll give me the benefit of the doubt. I'm doing the best I can. So, and that's kind of like manning up. Let's be honest here. And I want to bring that into story time, okay? Yeah, now let's be honest. Everybody's been ghosted one way or another, right? I remember being ghosted by a girl way back when. Yeah, make fun of me all you want. I tried to ask out plenty of women in my time, and young women. And this is way back in the days when I was super nerdy. And it didn't go well. And I'm like, I don't understand why she won't talk to me. Like, how many of you can relate to that in some way, shape, or form when you're young, right? Well, they don't want to talk to you because they can't deal with it. Frankly, they may just not be into you. They could be intimidated. It could be anything. They may not understand you. But unfortunately, you kind of just got to get over it and see if it comes back around. And oftentimes, people do come back around. More in my adult life, and of recent, I've had people that I thought were friends, or people I thought a lot of or had a lot of fun with, and they just kind of vanished. And I talk and say like, hey man, you doing anything? And they disappear. And I remember one time in particular, there's a guy I knew in Columbus area, really skilled photographer. and I was trying to help him out with getting connected with car people and build his portfolio up and do something. Guy was hilarious. He was super fun to hang out with, super fun. And he just like vanished one day. He got all mad over nothing. Like he left his camera or something out at a shop and then got it mad at me because I wouldn't drive like 45 minutes out of my way to just go get it for him and then bring it to him. I'm like, are you nuts? I did it anyway to be a nice guy because apparently it was so important to him at that very moment. And then he was a jerk to me and then didn't talk to me anymore. I'm like, what? What? Are you drunk, crazy, and stupid? But a number of years later, he got back with me, wrote me a text and said, man, I was really sorry. I was going through some tough times back then. I was full of myself and I didn't get it. Let me buy you like a drink sometime and let's hang out and talk. I'm like, sure, man. And I think for a lot of you young people out there, maybe you haven't been around long enough to have those sorts of things happen. But oftentimes in life, and this can happen to young and old, middle-aged, doesn't matter. You're older. I mean, this is a human thing. But people will vanish because they've got hard things going on in their life. I've got another story I can think of, and I'm going to do my best to not pinpoint it in any way because I really think a tremendous amount of this person. But there's somebody who's just such a cool person, great guy, great character, cared about Genius Garage, did some effort for them. And one day, and I wanted to get him involved, do more things, hang out. And one day they just vanished. Would not talk to me. All of a sudden, no longer connected on like Facebook and things like this. Would not answer my texts, phone calls, emails, nothing. And I'm like, what did I do? I even asked some of my students, I'm like, what did I do? And I just couldn't figure it out. And it bothered me. And I asked one of the students, it's like, I'll write him. And they got back to the student, and I'm like, what did I do? And a long time later, I finally just called the person again, and they answered. And I kind of confronted them. Not like mean, but I'm like, hey, man, like, what did I do? And the person was really nice and said, you did nothing wrong at all. And they had difficult things going on in their life. And since then, of course, we have a nicer communication and relationship. I mean, I can certainly understand that. And hopefully they think more of me in the nature of relationship, that I can be understanding that and don't have any hard feelings to them needing some space. So I say that for all of you, when there's ghosting happening and people just vanish, maybe they're having a tough time, you know? And you got to give them some space. Don't get mad and mean. That's a personal reaction. And yeah, it hurts. I mean, if you care about somebody, you like to interact with them, or you got something going on, they just vanish. You know, there's a bunch of human emotions you're going to go through. It's annoying and difficult to say the least. But the best I can say is be patient. And I think that kind of patience with relationships with others will come from a personal confidence that you have, knowing that you're an all right person, you know? But do a little self-analyzation. If you screwed up, maybe they're ghosting you for a reason, something you did. So look at it, but if you can't find anything and nobody else can find anything wrong, then just be cool. Maybe they're having a hard time. You know what I'm saying? Or they're just insanely busy. I find that people like to judge others from their own experiences and standards with their own life. So just because maybe you have a lot of time doesn't mean someone else does. I can remember in the last couple of years, I connected with somebody initially that just ghosted me and kind of flaked. I'm like, oh, what the, seriously, dude? Like, what? But I'm sure they're very busy people, lots of social engagements, lots of business related things going on. So, you know, that's all right. If I ever have a reason to connect with that person again in the future, maybe that'll happen. But at the same time, too, sometimes ghosting can tell you something about somebody because people will do it for crappy reasons. They will. This could be high school. This could be business. This could be older, anything. But, you know, crappy reasons could just be like, you're not cool enough to hang out with. You don't have enough social media presence. Like, you're not a big deal. You know, like shallow, crappy reasons. That can exist. But don't just jump to those conclusions when you're worrying about people that need some space. Another one I can think of, and I really don't want to pinpoint this, but there's a couple of individuals, a little bit younger. I knew them both. And one of them is a lot more socially confident than the other one. And a lot more socially skillful with a lot of other people. And the one that's less is less. And they don't mix real well that way. And I'm going to leave it at that because I really don't want to, I don't want to make anybody feel bad over this. And the one that's more socially confident just didn't know how to deal with the other one that didn't mix well in social situations and such, which is somewhat understandable. But it's kind of sad because I think those people, you know, have a respect to each other. But that one person ended up ghosting the other person. And it's kind of sad because through the nature of our internet, social media, etc., based upon who they contact and talk at and not with others, sometimes it can be easier to tell if someone is ghosting you. And I do believe that other person that was less confident knows they were being ghosted. And that really hurts. But sometimes a person needs that to find out that maybe they need to figure some things out, you know, find that confidence, find more of a social thing. Maybe they've got some things they need to work through, and maybe they're not great in a social or business setting. So sometimes those hard lessons can be very valuable. Life is a punk. A lot of these things don't feel good to learn or experience, but it's understanding that and being able to grow past that. And that is a huge aspect of where confidence comes from. So if you see people out there that you think are supremely confident and they're just in command of the world and can do anything at all, it's probably because they've been kicked in the balls a lot. And it's probably because they've had a lot of hard knocks. I have met people, young people, who, you know, just have great role models and mentors and parents and things like that, and they're really well adjusted. But that doesn't magically mean they're just better at everything and having confidence. People still have to get their confidence from building and growing and challenges. So remember that too. When things are hurting, whatever they may be, if it's you're trying to do a business-related thing, or friends or connections, whatever that may be, teammates, you know, you're getting the opportunity to grow. You're going to be a heck of a lot better for it. So in regard to ghosting, recognize it, but be cool. Be cool. Don't just let it hurt. Don't be super emotionally reactive. You know, you can be introspective. You can grow. You can learn. But if someone is not communicating you, they're either stupid busy, and you got to give them a little space, and they'll come back around, and just be cool. Don't just barrage them with stuff, or they're going to find you annoying. Okay, just be cool. And if you're cool, and eventually they'll come back around. Okay, and if they don't, then they're either it's just too busy. It's not that they have something wrong, but with you or something, that they're just too busy. That's a thing. Okay, there could be somebody that just doesn't like you. That can exist, and there's nothing wrong with that. Just let it go. It could be that you screwed up in some way, shape, or form. Maybe you overstepped your bounds, you got too drunk at a party, you embarrassed somebody, you angered somebody, you insulted them, you showed poor character. Okay, those are things you might want to analyze and get past. And if you find that you did in some way wrong with them later, maybe you can have a really cool, calm discussion with them. Be like, you know, I'm sorry if I wronged you in some way or something like that. I like our relationship. And want to move on. So I hope you'll forgive me. You know, an honest apology. So sometimes there's opportunities to get past things that way. So it's a thing, and it's something I've seen in business and life, in pursuing love. Happens to everybody. So if you haters want to throw nasty comments right now, like, get a life, man. Okay, or girl. But I don't really know if I have anything else magic to tell you guys right now, other than it does exist, and it can happen for perfectly understandable reasons. And just because you get ghosted or somebody doesn't connect with you, doesn't mean it's your fault. But it also could very well be your fault. And that happens in business too. You know, ghosting, I'm going to finish it with this. Ghosting happens with shady business people. The kind that don't want to be a team and don't want to work with you. So, there are people who will play you and play nice just to get information out of you, figure out what you're doing, what you're up to, what you're learning, what you know, or what's going on, or maybe some connections from you. And then they vanish with BS reasons, with your information. That's something you need to worry about in business. Guard yourself a little bit. I personally have found that everybody is stronger together with a positive team. So my personal directive and kind of in life, or I want to go with business, is you're stronger together. You know, no CEO of a global company does everything himself or herself. There's a giant team. Remember that. They're part of a giant team. So if people, or an individual just want to get information, hold all of them their little selves, well, they suck, and you have to look out for them and recognize it quickly and position yourself correctly for that. But they're also telling you something. They're telling you that they're weak. Because strong people can work together with others. They can lead. They can be part of a team. They can fall back if they need to be and take a supportive role of the team, or they can lead. I find that weak people like to try to knock down others, keep them out, steal information, etc. for their own good. So if in fact you do everything right, or even if you don't, and you get ghosted in that circumstance, don't lose your valuable information or such. Those are probably not the people you wanted to work with anyway in business. And there are circumstances that can be said for the same in relationships and social aspects of a life. If people are ghosting you just because they're being a jerk, or they're being petty, like you want to go out on a date or something, and there's no good reason for it, like they don't need their space, they're not going through something, and you didn't screw up, well, then they potentially just suck. And you really don't want to be messing with them in your life anyway. That's all I got for you guys right now. In the meantime, I really appreciate you guys all watching and being supportive. It means a lot. I'm excited where this YouTube channel is going. I'm excited that some of these talks mean a lot to people. Not that I think that I'm cool for saying it, but I just think that people need to talk about these things. And I get a lot of good response from you all. So I appreciate that. I appreciate you watching. I think this is a together thing here. And I hope it means something too. So thank you. In the meantime, if you think this is helpful for people, I hope you'll share it. And naturally that you will like, comment, and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time.